Hello, and here we come. Welcome to a nighttime edition of Friday at 11. Usually we go live from the UK at 11 AM, but because we are in the holidays in the UK, we've decided for the next few weeks that we're going to have nighttime editions instead. We haven't really got a theme for this week. We're just going to have a catch up on what we've been doing the last couple of weeks. It's only been a couple of weeks. It seems longer. So we are going to have a little run through what we've been doing and have we stuck to the plan that we had, and have we taken on board the tips and tricks that we were discussing the past few Hangouts. So my first question is to Joanne, and is, where have you been?
Oh, we've been quite a few places actually. First weekend, the girls went to a little campsite in Filey with the grandparents. I took them up on the Saturday and left them to it. Came back, worked for a few days, and then went to pick them up again on the Tuesday. That was quite nice. I spent a night over in their trailer tent, which was good. But last week we was in the lakes in the northwest, and that was nice. We had a full week away as a family. We had Dad with us. We don't normally take him just because the Shiv City works doesn't fit in with what we get to do. But this time it was just the six of us, and it was nice. So we stayed on the Seasons Resort called Whitbarrow Village, which is near Penrith. So just on the northern tip of the Lake District, just off the M6. And we just drove everywhere, really. We drove into Barrow a couple of days, drove into Keswick a couple of days, and just sort of explored the area, really, and did lots of different things. It was good.
Did you have good weather?
No, it's Lake District. We had Lake District weather, which was about half sunny, half rainy. Going back to what we were saying earlier about the tips that we'd learned over the last few weeks. Well, I think a couple of weeks ago we did a show on keeping your kids cool in the summer. So I took the suntan lotion, I took all the hats, and they did not come out of the bag at all the whole week. But the raincoats did, funnily enough. The raincoats did. And the wellies. We needed wellies. But no, it was good. It didn't stop us going anywhere. There's a few indoor things to do in the Lake District, which is probably just as well because their economy would crumble otherwise. Yeah, we sort of had a mixture of things to do, and we kind of looked at the weather forecast before we went out, and we adapted what we were doing on particular days to suit the weather, really. We did one day, it was bouncing off the floor one day. But we'd been booked into Keswick Climbing Wall in Keswick, which is all indoor climbing area, so that was perfectly timed, really, because we turned up and it just the heavens opened, and so it was good. Yeah, we had a nice time. We've got with us this week, we've got Vicky from. Vicky, do you want to introduce yourself?
Oh, we haven't introduced ourselves, have we?
It's all right.
No. Yes. Do it, Alex? I'm Vicky, and I blog over at Mum Inspired. This is my first Hangout, but I know Ali and Joanne from various blogging things that I've met them at before, so sort of wanted to come along because I don't normally get a chance to during the day. But 11 o'clock at night is a lot easier for me.
And there's alcohol involved.
Yes, there is, which makes it so much better.
I've only got that much left though, I don't know what that says really.
Cheers.
Cheers. we are good parents.
So what have you been up to, Vicky, then, the last couple of weeks? Have you been away?
No, not been away. I live on the south part of the lakes, so you were in the north bit, I was in the south bit. So I have experienced the same rain, the same yucky days that you have, so it's mostly been indoors. My car was in the garage for a load of time, and I felt like I had an arm chopped off because I couldn't drive anywhere because it had the MOT being done and all sorts of stuff. So we've been staying in mostly. We've been doing a lot of bits and pieces. We had been set some challenges from Dunelm Mill and also from Poundland to do a garden makeover and a den building challenge, so we did those. We've been having sort of great fun with making blanket forts and bits and pieces inside, and Nathan's been running up and down playing football inside, because we've got big space. that's got no furniture in at the moment. So yeah, it's just basically been nice sort of indoorsy stuff today, and for the last couple of weeks. We're going to a concert tomorrow out in Lytham. Hopefully that it won't rain because it's just been awful. And then we're hopefully later on we're going to go away with some friends, have a couple of weekends away somewhere.
Yay! Okay, so I forgot to say who I was. I'm so unprofessional. Right, so that is me. Sorry, my lower third doesn't work, so that's me. Still haven't got around to sorting out the memory on my Chromebook. So last Monday was my birthday, not last Monday, the Monday before, and I waited in all day just in case people came round, but they didn't. So I took the kids off to the Roman baths in Bath, because for a few years now I wanted to go and see it lit up at night. They light up all the flames and it all gets glowy and all that kind of thing, but because it's still quite dark, sorry, not dark, it's quite light, by the time we left it wasn't dark enough. So we were there till like 8:30 at night and it still wasn't dark enough. We saw the lamps go on, but it was fun because we haven't been there for like 2 or 3 years. I found it really interesting. And yeah, and we got to chat to this guy who's dressed up as a Roman who photobombed all our photos. He kept coming behind us. Because I said, right, the centurion's over there. We get it so that he's behind us. And he saw what we were doing. So he kept coming up behind us. I said, look, you've got to do it so that it doesn't look like you're photobombed. But he kept doing it on purpose. But
so
yeah.
was he actually part of the baths thing, or was he just some random bloke turned up in an outfit?
No, last time we were there, there was a scripture bloke who was a religious person. It's an actor, and they sort of like they come up to talk to people and sort of like make friends and sort of like tell the part of why they're there. So this Roman centurion sort of relates to the public on what he was doing and everything. But the kids kept going up to him and asking him to have their photograph thing. So he was stand over in the corner and put his hand up like this and pose. So that was fun. We live quite near to woods, so we've been going out to there. And my youngest has got a list, which apparently is from the National Trust things to do before you're 11 and a half, and then she's got 21 things to do. So we went up there, we did a nature art, so I got them to do a mandala out of leaves and sticks and stones, which I ended up doing actually because she wasn't interested. They went off and got all the bits and pieces, and Kieran was actually doing it, but then he buggered off because they found a rope swing, and so I finished that. And then we got the hammer beads out. So I've got another one somewhere, but I need a minion. Ooh. What else? We went to the park a few times. This Monday went to Weston-super-Mare. Again, we haven't been there for a few years. The weather app said it was going to be 21 degrees and sunny, so I packed all my stuff to be sunny day, hats and drink and suntan lotion and everything else. But when we got there, it was cloudy, it was cold, and nobody had a jumper, let alone a raincoat, except for my mother.
Mothers know best, you see. Mothers know best.
Because of the railway disruption, because we're having it all engineering works, it took over 2 hours to get there. So yeah, it was like, right, okay, but we made the best of it. They all jumped in the sea and played in the sand and that, and then we went and had a walk along to the gardens to see Jill Dando's garden. My mum bought us a hot chocolate and we sat down, we had a hot chocolate, and we had to move because we weren't allowed to eat our food outside the cafe, and it started to rain very hard as we sat there eating our picnic. And like true British people, we just sat there and continued eating our picnic in the rain. But my mum had to go. She's helping somebody who wants to move to Weston through a house swap. So she was looking at going to a village to take photographs of this bungalow for somebody she knows. So that was still sort of a double whammy of going there. So she went off, and the kids were bored, and it was too wet to go back and too windy to go back on the beach. So we went to go along to the sea aquarium, and they just looked at me and they said, no, don't want to go to the aquarium. But we passed this sand sculpture festival. So we went in there, and it's £10 for all of us. And we were in there for over an hour and a half. They loved it. And they got all these brilliant sand castle little sculptures. It's there to the end of September. So, yeah, we were playing in there, and then we went on the wheel. They got this great big wheel, and I'm scared of heights. But I went up anyway.
I think I saw your photos of that day, actually. I remember seeing the ones of you sat with a sand minion and then one of a very petrified face on top of a big wheel. That was you, wasn't it? Yes. Yeah.
Well, I'm always looking out for do things that scare me. I suffer from anxiety and panic attacks and everything, and having 3 children who I'm trying to bring up to be independent and strong, I can't sit there and not sort of like face my fear. So we went up in this wheel thing, and we had a very windy day, walking backwards and forwards, and you sat in this like a little pod thing, and there's a pole going up through it, and I was sat there like this for about 3 turns, slowly hyperventilating. But I finally plucked up the courage to get my camera. That's right. If I can hide behind the camera, it'd be fine. But I was facing the wrong way, so I had my back to the pier. I think that would be a better view. But I did a little Instagram video, and I did a longer video, and I took pictures. So it was worth £15 to get petrified, really. And today we were blackberry picking. First lot of blackberries, and I've got a great big jar full of brandy and blackberries and damsons. So
did you manage to find some? Because here it's not been
huge. Yeah, I mean here we're East Yorkshire, and I reckon it's another good 2 weeks before we get any. We've got a lot of green ones, but we've not got a lot of black ones at the moment. So I reckon it's a good 2 or 3 weeks off.
Season from the time it starts off in Cornwall, it gets up to like Scotland, takes 6 weeks. So it could be a couple more weeks. Last year we started picking blackberries before they broke up in school, so that was the end of July.
Yeah.
And because I've been foraging for years, I know quite a lot of areas in town where I can go, and I know the first lot of batteries. Blackberries are always good near us, so we went there and we did. I found loads, absolutely loads. So,
oh, that's good. Well, we have a community orchard in Lancaster, and it's 2 acres, and it's full of fruit bushes and trees and all sorts, and it's just free for everyone around to come and take what they want and help pick the trees and basically take all the fruit, so the crop's better for next year, which is great. And normally this time of year we'd go along and the plums would be ready, the pears would be ready at least, and some of the nuts. And I tell you, there was nothing, absolutely nothing. The apples and the pears were about the size of cherries on there. And I spoke to one of the gardeners. He said it's just not been hot enough, not been warm enough. It's been way too wet. So they don't know what's going to happen this year. They don't know if they're going to be ripe enough.
Oh, it's a shame. Because my dad's got apples on his tree for the first time ever, but they got some kind of bug on it, so they're just falling off. But they're quite decent size, but then by the time they get to be going to be ripe, there's not going to be many left.
Yeah, so we've got a couple of pear trees now, a garden and an apple tree, and like Vicky says, they're there, but they're just really small, and you just think, I think this time last year they were starting to look a bit like they might drop. But yeah, this year it's not just out of the weather, have we? We've not had the weather at all, really. I think we had about 3 days of heat, and that was it.
Yeah.
And it's been rubbish. Britain, you have let us down this year. and weather, I'm
It
afraid.
hasn't been as wet as previous years, but it's not as nice as last year. But then we're only just coming into August, and August is usually the really hot period, isn't it, in the UK? Which leads on to my next question. And that
we've got rain.
what do you have planned for the rest of the holidays, Joanne?
Well, we've got a camping trip coming up within the next couple of weeks. We're going up to Alnwick in Northumberland, so I've got a couple of days out planned up there. After that, I have no idea. We've got the girls, 3 of them are going to a dance school for 3 days, one of the local dance schools. We can't do regular dance classes because of my husband's shifts and because of our work, but they have a summer school that's 3 solid days, and I like to do that. I'm going to join in with a bit of drama and a bit of dance. And then after that, I have no idea. Honestly, winging it. So I still work through the holidays because of what I do, blogging wise as well, which is our hobby technically. Days out, obviously, I get busier during the summer when everybody else seems to get quieter. So that adds to it as well, which doesn't really help. It's nice, I suppose, to be busy. But it's just finding the time to fit it all in. So today was the first day I had to get childcare in for the holidays. But I can see a few more of those days coming up, I think. Just trying to minimise it, because obviously the more we spend on childcare, the less point there is me working, really. But yeah, I don't know. Just, I mean, my aim at the minute is to get to September and us not have let them kill each other, because you get 4 girls in one house. They're all very bright. They're all very single-minded, let's say. Yeah, it can turn to carnage pretty quickly if we don't keep them busy.
Have you got anything planned, Vicky?
No, not really, because Nathan is I share custody with Nathan between here and his dad's. He spends 1 week with me and 1 week at his dad's, so next week I can sort of catch up and do all my admin and get all my blog posts scheduled, and then when he comes back, I'll have a chat to him and see what he wants to do, really. We might go and do things like go to the safari park. We've been invited up there to go and have a look around and go on the baboon bus in Knowlesley. But it will really just be days out or maybe a weekend away with some friends if we get the chance to fit it in. But Nathan's quite happy just sort of chilling and pottering around at home, really. He likes doing his Lego and playing on the Xbox and playing football and being in the garden, really. So I'm happy with that. Saves money.
Yeah, I've got the same sort of issue like Joanne. My girls, they do not get on at all, and it's just they're going through the stop copying me. I'm not copying you. Yes, you are. You're copying me. No, I'm not copying. Why would I want to copy you? Oh my God! And you send them upstairs, and it's even worse in the holidays than it is on a school day to get them get dressed, because they know they haven't got an agenda or anything to go to. So you're right, go and get dressed, please. Now I'm sending up separately. So, one goes up and the other one will go and clean their teeth and have to do a chore, help me around the house or something. And then they do a swap. But you go up there and they're sat there playing with a toy, or they're just half dressed, or they're still in the pajamas. And so time's getting on, so you have to send up the second one, and then that's when all carnage. And oh my God! Fortunately, my oldest is very sensible, and he gets on with things, and he is spending less time with us. We're going to have a family day today, and he'll suddenly get a phone call from his friend. Oh, I've been asked to go to the skate park. Okay, off you go then. Today we're going blackberry picking. Oh, we've been asked to go out the woods. I'm like, oh, okay, going out the woods to show his friends, but I didn't know until he came back that they actually took girls up there.
Oh.
Yes, but apparently the girls weren't too impressed to go up this dirty great. It's not a big hill, honestly. It's not a big hill, but my kid's been up there for years. Being taken up this big hill and then taken into the woods to play on the rope swing. Weren't impressed, and they sat outside on their phones outside in the field while the boys were playing. I thought that was so funny.
Oh, so it begins, Ali. So it begins.
Yeah, but see,
I'm glad mine were a couple of years off that yet. That's good.
Yeah, well, he's a good lad. He just you know, he's very level-headed, and he's not like a lad. So I'm having to, you know, he's 13. I'm having to let him have independence. I mean, he went off to the skate park a couple of weeks ago on his own, took his own money to buy lunch, and I said, right, what time do you think you'll be back home? He said 9 o'clock, and I went, okay. So he went, and they came home, and as far as I know, he wasn't in any trouble. So, but he knows if he bends the rules, he won't be going anywhere ever again. So, yeah, I don't know if I'll be letting the girls do the same thing at 13, though. But yeah, things planned for the next few weeks. I want to go to Lake Abbey. We were going to go last week, but then we ended up doing other things. Yeah, that's the only sort of thing that I wanted to play. Oh, Victoria Park in Bath. Trying to meet up with Joy. Joy usually joins in on our Hangouts. But we keep missing each other. We were going to go to the Balloon Fiesta in Bristol again, which she was going to go, but the girls weren't interested. They were absolutely knackered this morning. I went to wake them up, and I don't want to go. I want to sleep. And yeah, they didn't get out of bed until gone 9, the oldest two. Mia was up, but she just had no interest, and I thought there's no point dragging them all that way because we've got a 2-hour journey on trains and buses, whatever, if they're not interested. Which I'm a bit gutted about. Cause
I think sometimes as well, so they need some chill out time as well, don't they? I mean, I'm guilty as anybody of sort of dragging my children around lots of different places, and they get fed up by the end of it. I mean, last week was in the Lake District. We had a day out planned every day just to stop the carnage in a much smaller house than normal and somebody else's house. And yeah, they just kind of get fed up towards the end of the week. They're like, we have to go out again, and it's like, well,
yeah.
You know, the alternative is to stay here with nothing. I mean, at least at home they've kind of got their iPads and their DVDs and, you know, the games, and they can just order Lego or whatever they want to play with, really. And,
see,
and sometimes they just want to sit and play with it, because school is like, it's only 6 hours a day, but by the time you've eaten 3 meals and gone to bed, they've got no time left, have they? And
no, I have been a bit strict about that. No, they're not allowed to go on the PlayStation till the weekend, and the oldest two have got to do 3 lots of washing up each. And once they've done that, they can go on the PlayStation. Mia has to make sure she brings down her washing and it doesn't accumulate underneath her bed and in her bed and under her pillow, so that she can go. But yesterday they were really good, because I said, right, I've got to clean, because we went out Western, and Wednesday we go around my dad's and we go shopping and stuff. They're like, I've got to do some cleaning, and you know, just to catch up. And so they were upstairs all day, and no screaming. I have no idea what they're doing. I'll probably find out tomorrow when I go and tidy their rooms. But yeah, it's sort of like it's different to last year. We spent a lot of time in the garden because it's our first year in a house, and we didn't really go anywhere. And I kind of left the housework, which I really regretted, because by the time it came around to September, they're going back to school. It took ages to get things up together. Again, because we moved in only a few months before, I was still unpacking stuff. So this year it's been 1 day away from home, doing stuff around here and going to see grandparents, kind of thing. But yeah, sort of like I you know, you take day to day really. I haven't got anything hugely planned. But yeah.
I think it's sometimes best to not always stick to rigid plans, though. It's all right if you say, right, we've got to be here at this time, but we just sort of like, when you said about blackberry picking today, we were like, yeah, let's go and try that. We ended up having to go to a fruit farm because Nathan was so adamant that he wanted to pick fruit, and the only place that we could go was a pick your own. And when I went there, they told us the same thing, but we managed to get a punnet of blackberries anyway, which we ate on the way back home. So I didn't even get to do anything with them.
Yeah, the blackberry picking was a thing that just came on top of my head because Kieran was going to go out to the woods, and the girls were just didn't want them to have another day of not doing anything. I wanted to achieve something. And they go and see their dad tomorrow, and then Sunday we're spending the day with my dad down the park and having a picnic, and then so it'll roll around to Monday again, and it could be pants weather. So while it was nice, I want to go and do something.
So what do you actually do with your blackberries then, Ali? Because we always just end up sort of whacking them in an apple crumble, because that's about all I can manage, really,
Right,
to be honest.
2 seconds, and I'll go and show you what I've done.
Oh, she's put me into jam, hasn't she? She's going to show off now. She's going to say, "Oh, I've made them into jelly, look." Is she back here? Can she hear me?
It's
Can you hear me,
alcohol.
can't she?
It's alcohol. It's not jelly.
Well, she's put me into alcohol.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
She
this
has,
is
hasn't she?
all the black. We picked must have been about 2.5 litres worth of blackberries, and I picked about 12 damsons, and I put it in a kiln jar, and I covered it with brandy. Basically, the fruit will go really soft, and I'll keep adding to it. There is a German recipe called Rumtopf, which is rum and covered with fruit, and traditionally you do it through the year. So you start off early in the year with like your cherries, then you add your stone fruit, so things like apricots, plums, anything really, and you go through the seasons going out. So you go blackberries and elderberries, and then come Christmas you have it, drink it, and it's usually made in a big stone sort of like pot with a lid. And I've been looking to get one of these pots, and they're about 20 quid on eBay. And I was talking to my dad's other half about it, and she went and found one in a charity shop.
Yay!
So she started hers off already, and she's actually going out and buying her stuff in the supermarket and then topping up when she can, going blackberries and everything. But I made this last year. I call it Bramble Brandy. So I'll just
See, Vicky was nearer then. You see, I was innocently thinking jam, you see, and Vicky said wine, so we're in the middle.
Alcohol.
Yeah, well, it's best to start off early, and these aren't quite ripe. I've got a few that we're going to have for breakfast. I prefer making jam with the softer ones because they're a bit different taste. Because these are a bit harder, they're better to be soaked in alcohol. So I'll keep adding to it, and that will go down, and then I'll add sugar. It's not any sugar in it at the moment. I got to add that tomorrow. So I'll add stuff when we go out. We could put elderberries in it, and other plums and peaches, anything I'll find that's, and stick it in there. And then come Christmas, you just top it up, and it's gorgeous. It doesn't taste alcoholic. It's just really like Ribena, and you have too much, and next thing you know, you're but yeah. And last year I made roll-ups, or sometimes they're called fruit levers. Yeah. So those recipes are on my blog on Bird and Bee. Yeah, I'm going to make jam. I got that to do. I might make the roll-ups again. They're quite a lengthy process, and the kids eat them like that. So I'll have to make a load of. But I'm always keen to try something new each year, and they keep bugging me to make pies. So I think I'll have to do that as well. But it's just sort of like making sure you go out weekly to go, get into a rhythm of actually going out there. Otherwise, you think, before you know it, they're all gone. So yeah.
I've got a question for you, Ali, being vegan. One of my friends is vegan. He was asking me about, you're not vegan now, veggie?
Right, okay, Vicky.
You were vegan.
I do say this on my blog, but nobody reads my blog, so I don't know. What you see on Instagram is just because I got a load of vegan followers, right?
All right. Okay.
I do eat meat.
Okay.
I do eat eggs, and I'm quite partial to cheese. It's no secret. I've said it on Hangouts before as well. We are mostly vegan and vegetarian. Vegan because Kieran can't have eggs, and I just don't like eating meat. Well, I have ham and I have bacon. That's probably about as much as I go. But if there's a vegetarian option, then I'll have it. But yeah, ask away.
Ask away. Right. One of my friends has recently gone vegan, and he would like apple crumble.
Right.
So would using peanut butter in place of butter work in a crumble as a topping?
Hang on, back again.
Here's one I prepared earlier.
Is an apple crumble the one you make with lard though as well?
You normally rub pie, apple pie.
This
Well,
is
lard and butter is.
Okay, that's a pound in Morrison's.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've tried that before. I've tried baking with it, which it was okay. I just wondered if the peanut butter would do the same sort of thing, give it a different taste with apple and peanuts and.
It'll stick things together because it's almost like isn't it? It'll stick things together. But that's what I use. You know, if there's a vegan product available, then I'll use it because I don't have dairy products. Because I find that I put on weight, and I don't know. I just find I feel better from not having dairy. I have hazelnut or almond milk. I don't tend to like soy as much. But yeah, that should be fine. I mean, that's what I use for crumbles and stuff like that.
Okay, I'll give it a go.
Yeah. Yeah, it should be no different really. Just
okay. That's what our plan was once we've got to the orchard and we've got all these apples to make loads of crumble and lots of apple sauce and apple jelly and stuff.
Yeah, I do like making jellies. Really nice. Elderberry jelly is my favourite. But yeah. Right, I think we better wind this up now. So thank you very much. If you have come along and watched, thank you. We should be back next week. Penny should be back, shouldn't she? And Joyce should be back, hopefully. We're not sticking to any kind of schedule just in case people are going away or something. I'm losing my voice. So yeah, hopefully you should be back. So thank you for coming along. This has been Friday at 11 p.m. With me, Ali from Bird and Bee. Joanne?
Yeah, I'm Joanne from Kids This Out Reviews. Hello and goodbye.
And Vicky.
Hello, bye-bye. It's Vicky from A Mum Inspired.
So, thank you very much. Next week, theme. I have one in my head. I know the last one we did, we talked about Periscope. And since then, me and Vicky have been a bit addicted to it, either watching or actually streaming ourselves. And there's been a few developments in other live streaming apps. So I'm hoping I'm going to grab my little team here to come along and join me. And maybe we'll be talking about that because we do like to talk about blogging and social media as well as parenting. But we never know. We might be talking about something completely different. So until then, goodbye.